Ready for a deep dive. Today, we're off to Swansea.
Swansea it is.
But we're ditching the tourist traps this time.
Oh,
We're going for the hidden gems, the unexpected stories.
I like it.
And we've got a whole stack of Swansea trivia to guide us.
Love a bit of trivia. So where are we headed first?
First up, Klein Gardens.
Okay, gardens, I'm listening.
Now, I'm a fan of a good garden, but this one has a bit of a twist. Imagine a garden, but it was built by an admiral.
By an admiral, okay.
Not just any admiral. This one was obsessed with rhododendrons. Like, seriously
A
obsessed.
rhododendron, huh?
He even built a whole tower just to get a better look at them.
Now that's dedication.
Right. This was the Victorian era. Botany was all the rage.
Oh, absolutely. Exotic plants, status symbols, the whole shebang. Rhododendrons were like top tier.
And this admiral? Algernon Walker Heneage Vivian.
Now that's a name.
He took his love for these flowers to a whole new level.
A 5-meter tall tower with a spiral staircase, no less.
All just to enjoy his precious blooms.
Now that's commitment. Makes you wonder what other quirks he had up his sleeve.
Right. From curated gardens to something a bit wilder. Let's head to Kenfig Dunes.
Cafe dudes.
And get this, it's right next to a steelworks.
You're kidding. Talk about a contrast.
Seriously, you'd expect, I don't know, grime, industrial wasteland,
Right.
but it's this sprawling nature reserve.
A haven for all sorts, actually. Got rare orchids there.
Orchids, seriously.
Yeah. Dragonflies, bees, even the UK's biggest population of fen orchids.
Delicate orchids near a steelworks. It's an image I won't forget. Speaking of striking images, imagine a lone lighthouse,
Oh, I like where this is going.
perched on the edge of a peninsula, battered by the wind and waves. That's Whiteford Point Lighthouse.
Isolated, but witness to centuries of maritime history.
And the structure itself is fascinating.
Hmm.
It's not brick by brick. This lighthouse is bolted together from the outside.
It's an iron giant, over 13 meters tall.
But here's the catch.
What's the catch?
High tide comes in,
Yeah.
and it's practically swallowed by the sea.
You'd have to be quick to get off that one.
Talk about walking on water. From a disappearing lighthouse to a place where time seems to stand still. Park Mill, Water Mill.
Okay, a mill. I'm intrigued.
This business has been around for 900 years.
900 years. That's incredible.
Grinding flour powered by this stream that supposedly never runs dry. I
Yep.
mentioned that.
40 sacks of flour a day, they say.
40 sacks. And flour wasn't all. There was a sawmill at one point, even a wheelwright's workshop.
Really? All in the same spot. Talk about multi-purpose.
During World War II, they even used it for training the Women's Land Army.
Wow. This mill's seen it all. A real heart of the community.
Though, maybe not the safest place for your fingers if you got too close to that machinery. Rumor has it, they lost a few over the centuries.
Ouch.
But let's move from flour power to something a bit more mysterious.
Okay, hit me with it.
Imagine this. You open a dusty old tea chest, and boom, you're in ancient Egypt.
Now that's what I call a discovery.
The magic of the Egypt Center, right here in Swansea. It really is like a time capsule,
It is 92 tea chests.
just waiting to be opened.
Decades they'd been sealed.
What a find for those researchers.
A treasure trove, honestly. Artifacts galore. And, get this, reserve heads.
Reserve heads.
Strange, right? Still got scholars scratching their heads over those. What were they for? Nobody's quite sure. Adds to the mystery.
A real head scratcher then. And it's not just looking at stuff, is it?
Oh no, at the Egypt Center they want you to dive in. You can try your hand at hieroglyphics if you fancy it.
Hieroglyphics, that'd be a challenge.
Fancy a go at a virtual mummy evisceration. They've got you covered.
Now that's getting your hands dirty. Speaking of getting hands-on,
What's next?
from ancient Egypt, we're jumping to, well, the laws of physics.
Physics. This is quite the journey.
The gravity center is the place to be, where you feel that force, you know.
Oh,
And, you won't believe this, it used to be an apple orchard.
no way. That's almost too perfect, talking of gravity and apples.
It's like a real-life physics lesson with, you know, a bit of adrenaline thrown in.
Sounds exciting.
Whether you want a nice glide or something faster, like on a mountain board. There's something for everyone there.
I can see myself rolling down those hills.
It's that inner child coming out. Who knows? You might have your own Newton moment while you're there. But from defying gravity, let's take a dip in the blue pool. Sounds nice, doesn't it?
Dip in the pool. After all that, I'm in.
A proper rock pool. Deep. Just right for a swim. But as with most things in Swansea, there's more to it.
Go on, spill the beans.
Well, near this idyllic pool, there's this cave. Three Chimneys Cave. And Well, it's got a past.
Every cave has its secrets.
This one was once an ossuary,
An ossuary.
a resting place for human remains.
Wow.
We're talking Bronze Age stuff.
History really is all around.
Even in the prettiest places, you never know what you'll find. Speaking of stories etched in time,
Another one.
we've got to talk about Amy Dillwyn, a woman who really challenged things, made her mark on Swansea.
Tell me more.
Not your typical Victorian lady. Amy was a writer, businesswoman, and a suffragette.
Wow. Quite the combination. A real trailblazer.
So her dad died, left her with, well, a mountain of debt,
Oh, no.
and a failing spelter works on her hands.
Not an easy situation to inherit.
But she didn't give up. Amy took charge, became a man of business, as she put it,
Good for her. Taking control.
turned the whole thing around, made it a success.
Especially in those times. Not easy for a woman in business.
Imagine the challenges.
Yes.
But she persevered, showed everyone what women were capable of.
Absolutely. A seat at the table and all that.
And she didn't stop there. Wrote novels, too. Tackled things like women's rights, social justice, all sorts.
A true pioneer.
That's the word for it.
Oh.
Now, get ready for a change of scenery. From a pioneer to, well, a place that's a bit bleak at first glance.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Gower Salt Marsh. It'll challenge your perceptions, that's for sure.
Salt marches. Not usually the first thing that springs to mind.
I know, right? When I think salt marsh, I'm not thinking, oh, culinary delight. But Gower Salt Marsh? Well, it's special.
It is. We often dismiss those places, don't we? See them as barren, but they're not. Gower Salt Marsh, it's brimming with life.
Absolutely teeming. And it's the secret ingredient, you could say, behind Gower Salt Marsh lamb.
Unique flavor, that's for sure. You can taste the environment in the meat.
It's like a taste of the Gower Peninsula itself, right on your plate.
Exactly. We are what we eat, as they say, and this lamb, it's a testament to that. Shows how something seemingly harsh, unforgiving, can create something special.
From a taste of the marsh, we're going to Aberfan Sands. Something a bit whimsical this time.
Whimsical. After that lamb, I need it.
Imagine this, a giant blue whale, a sculpture, just standing guard over the beach.
A whale on the beach. I bet it raises a smile.
It does, and it's more than just a fun sculpture. It reminds us of the whales that have, sadly, strayed into Swansea Bay.
A bit of a sad reminder, then.
It is. But it's also a testament to people power. You see, these sculptures were almost lost to development.
Really?
It was the kids of Aberfan, the children, who said, no way. They rallied, spoke up.
And they saved the whale.
They did. It just goes to show you're never too young to make a difference. Now, from seaside sculptures, we're stepping back in time, post-WWII Swansea.
Okay, setting the scene.
The city's recovering from the war. Industries are changing. And into all this walks Kingsley Amis, literary giant.
Kingsley Amis in Swansea.
Fresh out of Oxford he was. First-class degree, sharp wit.
Talk about a change of pace. Oxford to Swansea, quite the shift.
What was it about this city that caught his eye, I wonder?
Well, Swansea, it had this grittiness, real characters, and that appealed to Amos, to his satirical side.
Ah, so he drew inspiration from the city, the people.
He did, and he immortalized them in his writing. That uncertain feeling, that was one.
And that became a film too, didn't it? Only two can play. It's amazing how these stories come to life in real places.
It is. Take the Aberdarsea Public Library. Fictional, yes, but they filmed that scene at the Glenvivian Art Gallery, a real place.
Imagine that. Peter Sellers, walking those halls.
Makes you see it differently, doesn't it? Swansea stories, they blur those lines. Fact and fiction.
And speaking of blurring lines, get ready for a tale of legend and geology, Arthur's Stone.
Arthur's Stone, that name rings a bell.
This isn't just any rock. Legend says a giant called Arthur got a pebble stuck in his shoe.
A giant with a pebble problem. I've been there.
Annoyed, he flicked it away.
Yeah.
And boom, Arthur's Stone.
If only all landmarks had such simple beginnings.
In reality, it's this massive boulder balanced on a burial chamber.
Glacial activity, that's the real culprit here. Incredible power, those glaciers.
Makes you wonder what else is hidden down there.
Right. Waiting to be found.
Imagine this massive landmark. It might have been a tomb once. For a king or, I don't know, a chieftain, maybe.
It's true. Even the smallest places, the most unlikely places, can hold the most amazing secrets.
We've certainly uncovered some fascinating stuff today.
We have.
Gardens for rhododendron fanatics. A lighthouse that plays hide and seek with the tide.
Don't forget the mill, that incredible old mill, and those ancient tombs. Spooky.
Swansea has surprised us, that's for sure.
What's amazing is how these stories are just They're part of the city, woven into the fabric of the place.
Kind of like they're locked away somewhere.
No, they're not in some dusty archive. They're in Swansea's DNA, just waiting for someone to discover them.
Every corner you turn, there's another story. Something unexpected.
This deep dive, it's just a glimpse, really, a taste of what's out there.
Swansea's hidden treasures. The stories most people miss.
Exactly.
So, go on, get out there, start your own Swansea adventure.
Who knows what you might dig up?
Until next time, happy exploring.